Hi, this is Chris. I had started, but I'm going to redo this. My friend Bev, who's my prayer partner, got a word the other day, and it was really, really, really good because she's been through some really hard things recently, and near-death things. So it's called Going Through the Hard Things. And her name is Beverly Julesgard Fischer. And her email is godsblessingstoyou, just small letters, at yahoo.com. And this is what the Lord said to her. He said, "For I say to you, much change is on the horizon for this nation, the world, individuals, and groups. You've seen it coming with all the upheaval worldwide, but in many areas and for many individuals and groups, this is only a beginning of sorts. Even as the enemy pushes harder to bring more confusion, death, and destruction on the scene, so I will come forth in greater power and might in my people to bring forth hope, joy, strength, clarity, and life abundantly. Though the enemy wants to steal, kill, and destroy, my people are coming forth in greater authority, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to overcome and defeat the challenges which the enemy is putting before you. Many of you are feeling as if you've been through the trials of Job, and indeed many of you have been put through trials and tribulations just as Job was, and many of you are battle weary and wondering how much longer it will go on. Many of you are hanging on to my robe by your fingertips, hoping I will grab you before you let go because you're feeling frail, exhausted, and don't know how much more you can take. You know, the word says that he'll try to wear out the saints, and the enemy's been doing a good job of that. But I say, take heart, my people, take heart, for even as I reach now to grab you before you let go and hold you in my arms, I am still with you. I have never left nor forsaken you. For those who have been through what seemed like endless barrage from the enemy, I tell you, it has been needed to bend and mold you more into my likeness. It has been needed to remove remnants and remains of things that have been holding you back, and to remove entryways that the enemy has been using to come into your life to destroy you. Many of you had settled into a way of life that you were comfortable in, beginning to resist change in many ways because of this, and the complacency that had settled over many like a warm blanket on a cool night. Many have resisted any change that I have sent to you, even in many forms. You snuggled in under the blanket and refused to come out from under it, even when what I had was way better for you. Many refuse to leave the mindset of that warm, comfortable blanket that you're snuggled up in. So for some, it has meant that I literally ripped the blanket off of you and have refused to give it back, forcing you to search me more for the comfort and stability and the strength a blanket made you feel while you were under it. You had to search for me more to find solutions to your problems because your security blanket was missing. By removing your security blanket, you are looking differently at things and getting a different perception of the world around you because you aren't covered up by the blanket. You have new eyes to see if you are open to it and what I want to show you. You have awakened and come out into the cool air rather than snuggled down under the covers. You are no longer in a state of slumber from being covered, but you are more alert and aware of what is going on around and in you. Your understanding of me and my heart's desire for you is changing. Hallelujah. You now have gotten greater compassion as your searching takes you to others who had their security blanket ripped off of them. You realize you aren't alone, so there's no reason for self-pity to come in. Who is starting to knock at your door? Your strength is being renewed as you join with others whose heart also has been changed in the process. And many of you have been through. As your heart is changed, you become more like mine. You notice that other things around you have changed as well. Maybe it's where you live or people you associate with or now call friend. It may be your job or your life's work. I have caused you in this process of change to pick up some new things and let go of others. People, places, events, things from your past. I have caused you to let go of them, to close doors that needed to be closed, to move forward instead of standing still because of waiting on another who refused to move forward or who wasn't going in the same direction that I've assigned you to. I have caused the changes so that you would become more like me. It is necessary for you to continue to move forward in the days ahead in the direction I take you now, It is only by moving forward in me that you'll continue to stretch and grow more like my likeness. This has not been easy for anyone who has gone through the process, but it's times like these when you learn to rely on me for everything first and others become secondary in your life. It is times like these that I love you most, as I watch you change and grow and be affected more by my love for you. In the end, it is about me and teaching you to love more like me. That can only happen through going through the hard things that cause you to change and want me more. Okay, that's the end of the word, but I just wanted to share too personally that God has taken me through this in the last, let's say, 3 years, because I had gotten into that place of just exhaustion, and I had nothing left. I'm like, God, you have to revive me, you know, because He had given me words about how He was going to revive the bride, and I had gone from being really a kind of discouraged and having a hard time with reading the Word, with worship. I mean, I do it, but it was like, it's not the same when you feel, you know, like when you really love the Word and such. And so He's revived all of that. But I went through some really hard things through attacks of the enemy. And because at the time I was in a bad place, you know, not praying as much as I used to and worshiping as much as I used to. So it was like I had that blanket. Part of it was like trying to hide from from all the assaults of the enemy. And then my son and daughter-in-law had a baby. And I thought, even though God told me I was going to have a granddaughter a few years back, I'd kind of thought, oh, doesn't look like they're going to do anything. And I'm 70 years old. You know, I didn't really know if this would happen. And suddenly everything in my life changed, because they asked me to care for her after she, you know, Amy had to go back to work after 3 months. And so everything in my life was turned upside down, just like He said here. So I was forerunning, I was going through what some people are going through now. And I was under attack because I was interceding for people that were being assaulted by Satanists. I mean, one of them actually living in a complex where there's probably a whole nest of Satanists who are involved in child porn or something like that, possibly trafficking. And once we started praying, then they came at me like, you know, hornets. So I went through some physical things that were really difficult. Through voodoo that they're using, at least that's what the Lord showed me. And that my whole, you know, left shoulder, I couldn't even move. And it took a year to recover, but I did recover. And just using natural things, you know, gelatin and cherry, tart cherry, those things help your bones and your cartilage and inflammation and all that. So I went through several of those kind of things. And my son got hit at one point, and you know, I had to pray through that, and so it's just been one thing after another, a barrage, like she said, like the Lord said to her, of one thing after another coming against, and it's made me stronger. It's made me more compassionate, and especially for them, because being 70, I had long forgot, even though I had my son at a late age. I think I was 38 when I had him, so I wasn't in my 20s, but still, it's been a very long time since I had kids, and since I took care of kids in hospital, because I used to be a pediatric nurse. So it's really been a drastic change in the way I'm living, and also managing time has been very difficult. So because of physical, sometimes tiredness and limitations. So I'm just assuring you that God's going to bring you through if you're going through something really hard right now. And Bev, when she got this, she's got a broken wrist. She had fallen down when she went on vacation with her son and daughter-in-law, and her wrist literally looked like a Z pattern. It was really a scary break. And she also had been assaulted by a virus months ago and ended up in the hospital because it affected her heart, her lungs, her kidneys, and she's been healed of that. God healed her. So I'm just saying, no matter what you're going through, God's going to see you through if you're His. Okay? So hang in there. And this word to me was like refreshing water, you know, because it corroborated, you know, things that I've gone through and things that I'm going through. So God bless you, and hang in there and don't give up. Keep speaking the word, and keep in prayer and communion with the Lord. Love you. Bye-bye.